What is up, guys? Wolfgang here. So today I want to talk about my desktop computer. Now, as you can see, my table is completely clear. That is because it does not fit in the frame of my current setup with the webcam. So for now, I'll just be showing you some B-roll shots of the computer and talking about the components in the meantime. So I've been using a laptop for most of my life. I started up in my computer world with a family iMac with the huge, extremely huge bezels on the sides. But after that, all my computers have been laptops. That is just simply because they already had a screen, trackpad, keyboard, and battery, which meant that they were portable and I could take them anywhere I needed to. And being a kid, I'd like to move between different setups, between the couch, the kitchen, my room, etc. So having a laptop was just ideal for me. However, for the last 2 years, I've been wanting to switch to a desktop PC, as they offer much more power, much more performance, and they are cheaper in the long run. And as I was certainly going to be using computers for the rest of my life, and I do enjoy to have my own setup, not exactly moving between the kitchen, the couch, my room, etc., I decided to splurge on a PC this time, a desktop PC. So I sold my laptop. Funnily enough, I sold it probably like a week or two after making the video on this laptop. Video up here. I sold it, and with that money, I had enough to build a desktop computer. And so I had spec'd out a desktop computer a few months prior, and well, I kept to it mostly, but well, let's go into it. So my first spec list was gonna be a Ryzen 7 5800X, which is an 8-core CPU, more than I'll ever need. An ASUS ROG STRIX LC240, which is a 240mm AIO for the processor. I was gonna get a ASUS ROG 6800 XT for the graphics card. And then I was also gonna get Corsair Vengance LPX, 32GB of 36MHz RAM CL18. It's a bit cheaper, and well, the additional size would be helpful when video editing. Next up, I was planning to get a Samsung 980 Pro drive and just have the largest size available. I believe it's a 4TB, but I'll show you on screen which is the largest size available currently. And well, I was going to get a ASUS ROG Strix X570i motherboard. That's a mini ITX motherboard, just to have a smaller case. With an 850-watt power supply, two 120mm fans, Noctua fans, and in the formed T1, which I'll show you right now. Now, I really liked the look of this case, and I really wanted it. The problem is that, well, it's not made by a large company, which means that availability is sparse at best. However, after selling my laptop, I noticed that I would not be able to afford those components. And so what I ended up going for was cheaping out on a few components to make it much more affordable and to have an upgrading path in the future. So, first of all, instead of going for a Ryzen 7, I went for a Ryzen 5 5600X, which is a 6-core CPU, which has been glorified for the last 2 years perhaps as being one of the greatest CPUs for gaming, budget gaming at least, which I was able to undervolt and overclock simultaneously, which means that I have lower temps and a faster CPU overall. Let me know if you want a video on how to do that. And then next up, I switched out the AIO for a Noctua L9a chromax, as it is a smaller cooler, and well, I did have to transport this computer from where I bought it to back home, and I didn't want to have a water cooler in there, as it is not as safe as an air cooler for traveling purposes. And then the next thing I bought for this computer, interestingly enough, is that I bought expensive foam. Now, that's what I like to joke what it's called about, but it's actually the Noctua NA-FD1, which is basically some foam spacers which you put between the Noctua coolers, some specific Noctua coolers, and the case. it basically ensures that your CPU cooler only sucks in fresh air, cool air from outside the case. That way your CPU is cooler that way. Now, luckily enough, my brother-in-law was switching out his GPU and he had a spare 1080 Ti. Now, as my budget right now was not strong enough to get a GPU that I would like, I ended up asking him for that graphics card, and I would give it back to him or sell it and give him some of the money back when I do. And luckily, he complied, and he gave me the GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition, which has 11 gigabytes of RAM. I'm currently looking for an aftermarket cooler, as the Founders Edition one is iffy at best, I'd say, as far as cooling goes, but definitely serves the purpose. Now, I did stick to the Corsair Vengance LPX 32 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz CL18 RAM, and it's been performing awesomely. I did stick also to getting 4 terabytes of NVMe SSD storage. However, I went for a much cheaper option, as well, a 980 Pro, especially for what I'd be doing, won't benefit me as much. So I ended up going for two 2-terabyte Inland Platinum drives. I also stuck to the motherboard, an ASUS ROG STRIX X570i. I was going to stick to a B550 from ASUS. However, when it came to ordering the parts, the motherboard would not have arrived on time, and it was just $20 extra for the ASUS X570. Which, if anything, means I am somewhat future-proof if I want to upgrade the core count of my CPU. Although AM5 is coming out soon and the new processors will not be compatible with AM4, which is not a huge issue for now. I do wish to upgrade to the next generation of processors in the future, but for now I just needed something good, something that'd work, and get my feet wet in the desktop sector. Cooler Master 850 watt power supply, which has been more than enough for my current specs, as I just wanted to be ready to upgrade it if I wanted to pop in a new GPU. And then last but not least, I did buy the 2 fans I mentioned, the Noctua chromax fans. And last but not least, I did change the case. Now, the case, as I mentioned, was going to be extremely hard to get to due to availability issues. And this time I went for the Dan A4 H20, which is in collaboration, the Dan people are in collaboration with Lian Li, which means that it was going to be a much more available case, and I ended up getting it for a cheaper price as well, which means that it was a great investment with a PCIe Gen 4 riser, or perhaps not a good investment, but I really enjoy how the case looks, and it fits all the parts I want and anything I'll ever want in the future. Now then, some extras I want to get for the computer in the future is a set of cable mod cables, as the ones that come with the power supply are a standard size and not as flexible as I'd like. With cable mod, I can select exactly how long I want these cables to be, and I can specify that it's for a small form factor PC, which means that they'll be more flexible. And then secondly, I actually got a fingerprint reader for the PC, which is Windows Hello compatible. This thing has been awesome just because I really don't like to type passwords, and so just having to put my finger on the USB receiver is awesome. They also have a desktop version which has a longer cable and you can place the reader wherever you want, but it is more expensive than this one. And truth is, I was going to have my desktop right beside me, so it wasn't that much of a big deal to have a USB somewhat dongle looking thing off of it, and so I went for that one. The total price for this computer was actually $1,041, and that is not including the GPU, as my brother-in-law gave me that. You can definitely spec out different builds with cheaper components, for example, going for an older processor, getting less RAM, buying a lower end motherboard. But what I want is basically an overkill gaming PC, And so I just went for the newest parts that were available, and I hope to switch out to a much more powerful graphics card in the future, which is why I stuck with the component list I just mentioned. Now, funnily enough, the graphics cards I want to buy at the time of this video, of recording this video, are priced around the exact same price as my computer, my whole computer. So we're talking about either an RTX 3080, preferably the ROG version, the Strix, or perhaps the TUF. I've been looking into that. Those have a price of around $1,000. And perhaps I'll also go for a 6800 XT if the price is lower enough. I'm willing to consider that as well. However, due to the NVENC encoder as well as DLSS, I do believe I will stick with NVIDIA. Even though I would love to get the next generation of graphics cards from AMD, which the highest tier will be the 7900 XT. And well, as my channel is 790, I just thought it would be funny. It would literally give me a chuckle once and then I'd never think about it again. I'm going to consider it when it comes out, check out prices, wattages, which seems like my power supply will be enough, and most importantly, if it fits in the case. With all those three components combined, I can decide if to go for a 7900 XT or for an RTX 3080, or its equivalent in the next generation of NVIDIA GPUs. Now, I do have some annoyances with this PC. Specifically, it comes down to the components I bought in the end, but the point is that the motherboard does not have a standard front panel audio connector, which means that there is an adapter in the box. And when using this, I was able to make it work once when I first built the computer. But afterwards, after testing it, after replugging everything in and disconnecting it again, I couldn't get it to work. It just gave me static, which in the end I just ended up unplugging, and I have two useless 3.5 millimeter audio and microphone ports on my front panel. This motherboard also does not have a USB-C header or internal connector, which means that I had to get a converter from USB-A front panel connector to a USB-C front panel connector, which means I may be losing some speed pretty much for sure, but I'm okay with that, as I also do have it connected to a USB 2.0 header, as that's what the motherboard had available. And then last but not least, the GPU is not what I would like, but it is powerful enough for what I'm using it currently. What annoys me about the GPU is more the sound that it makes. So as it is a GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition, very importantly, it only has one fan and a very small heatsink, compared to nowadays, which have very large heatsinks and 3 fans. So what I did is that I undervolted the graphics card and I repasted it, and it did help out the sound reduce by a bit. However, it is still present, still annoying, and I'll try to show you an audio sample right now. But it isn't a huge deal, as when I'm gaming, when it's loudest, I will have my headphones on and they are noise cancelling, so that just completely drowns out all the sound. Now I will be making a video on the WH-1000 XM4s from Sony. Let me know if you're interested. The XM5s are out now, but I would like to make a long-term review of these headphones, as I've used them for pretty much since release day, and well, I will hope to compare them to the XM5s. In conclusion, I'm really happy I made the switch from laptops to desktops. I love how much less space it takes on the desk, as I would usually use my laptop open to have a secondary screen, and well, it would occupy space on the table even with laptop stands. The desktop takes up less space in total. I love having options as well, just to switch out a single part if I want to make it faster in any single way. And last but not least, I enjoy having the flexibility to undervolt or overclock and still have a great cooler, or even switch it out if I want to upgrade in the future. So I'm really happy with this PC, I've been editing the last few videos on it, and it's been amazing for me. It's been really fast. I've been getting better frame rates than my laptop, believe it or not, and it's been amazing. I've truly enjoyed it. I can make a PC building tutorial if you guys want. Let me know. And well, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you don't want to miss out on content similar to this one, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified when I release a new video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day.